Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending the Fiatech webinar. I will kick us off this morning. This is Mike Alianza. I'm with Fiatech. I'm the director of the Program Management Office. Nicole, who normally hosts this, is unfortunately caught up in the emergency evacuations in Austin due to the fires. So hopefully she will be okay and the house okay and be back with us soon. Today we have the privilege of having Todd Sutton with us from Zachary Construction. Todd's been with Zachary for 22 years and does all kinds of incredible things with Zachary. I've had the privilege of seeing Todd's work for quite a number of years, and it's very exciting to see what he's doing and with the resources he has, what he makes happen out there. So it's fun for us to be able to present the 1, 2, 3 punch list. This is a item that Todd and his team put together for Zachary, and was able to present that with Fiatech, and recently in the fall or in the spring meeting was awarded the SETI award from Fiatech for this particular project. Just as a piece of housekeeping, as you guys heard from the beginning, all the attendees are muted at this point. Any questions that you have, you may address to myself, Mike Alianza, in the right side in your panel, GoToWebinar panel, and then provided that there's time at the end of the meeting, I will ask those questions and bring those up to Todd, and any questions, including the ones we've asked or ones we have not gotten to, Melissa from our office will send those out to all the list of attendees, and Todd will get a chance to answer those through email as well. So at this point, Todd Sutton with Zachary Construction, thank you for being here, and I will turn it over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Mike, and thank you everybody for attending today. We're going to cover the real-time field reporting using the 1, 2, 3 punch list process that we created with Zachary. And with this process, we actually took a look at the previous process and then improved on it in implementing technology for use out in the field. So that's what I'll be covering today. You know, a couple of years ago, we worked on getting connections and connectivity out to the project site using the office in the box type scenario. But once we did that, we had project offices that had connection, that had connectivity, that we get up and deploy rapidly. But as we've been looking at the last couple of years with the mobile devices and what I'm calling smart devices are being prevalent in today's world, you know, why can't we take those and then extend the office out into the field so we can get real-time field reporting, you know, and by making the information available in the field, you know, the decisions can be made immediately. And also the field reporting will also be more accurately. So like I said, we took one of our projects, and in this case it was the Embassy Suites Hotel. The project team was actually very excited to implement this process. As you can see in the right-hand side of the screen, there's a little snapshot of a punch list item, talking about the 13th floor, shows the room number, and then also, what needs to be done and, in that room to fix the items that need to be corrected. So what we looked at was that we had the team was previously going out, and different team members of the project team would actually be writing these lists, and then at some point, they would re-enter the data into a spreadsheet. It was very time-consuming, very redundant information, And the punch list, wasn't always available to the subcontractors in a timely manner. And what I originally observed as they was writing down these lists, while they were doing the punch, also when they was leaving to go back after they finished doing the punch, they would leave, and then a subcontractor or somebody would come up to the team members and start asking them questions about something else. Well, due to the fact that they didn't have the information with them, they would have to note that request for that information and then go back to the office to look for the information. And then, so what I was noticing is they would do that, they would get back to the office, and before they had time to even look up or find something, they would get phone calls or emails, and while they got, or people waiting for them in the office when they returned for additional information. So, I said, there's got to be a way to get this information, while you're in the field, and then be able to process it. So then we took a look at different what we had to work with as far as tools, and one of the tools that the project team had readily available was their iPhones, so that's what we started looking at. And then we also look at so with the looking at this list and significantly, having to improve the overall punch process, we took at, like I said, we look at the fact that people had iPhones. About a month after we started developing this process, that's when the iPads came out, and a couple of employees had actually purchased those, including myself, for personal use and asked to use them for their job. And then we also purchased 2 tablet PCs. Our project executive on that project authorized the purchase of 2 tablet PCs for the project as well. And then we got our IT department provided us a clear 4G router for field Wi-Fi connectivity. This trigger router was, as opposed to the original wireless office in the box scenario, using a EVDO data card and a router with a slot for the card. This particular solution was an all-in-one solution that had the technology, and it was also battery operated, which was a big plus for taking out to the field. And below you, to the right of the screen, you can actually see example of the punch items. If you notice, there is on these punch items, there's symbols that represent the different items, and as you drag and drop, which you'll see in a little bit, but as you drag and drop these symbols, what happens is this punch list is developed that you see at the bottom of the screen. All this is done electronically. It's all done basically automatically from just drag and dropping, and with the information that you have already pre-selected within the Bluebeam tool that we're using. So real quick, I want to cover some of the information on this particular tool that we implemented using it. Was a product called Bluebeam PDF Review. This particular product already had a workflow process that one of the architects that were a user of it actually started implementing the workflow process. Basically what we did was provide an avenue to utilize the product with a different tool set, such as the iPads and iPhones. And then we, as we implemented our own process for the punch list, we've actually tailored it to our needs on each project. So, what Bluebeam allows us to do is create a sketch with a snapshot, paste it, and flatten that sketch so nothing can be changed on it. And then we can actually just drop in the symbols that we need to record the punch items, and then we can actually call out the information as needed. So with any text with the text box, and also we can import photos, so we can actually take a photo, place it in the area where the punch item is located to actually show a photo of the actual item that needs to be looked at. We can also run a summary report and export that as a CSV or XML format. And then in Excel, we can actually format it and issue it along with the sketch. So the post-processing is very, quick, as opposed there's no data reentry, and then compiling the information and sending it out to the subcontractors. It's a much faster process. So basically, our new process, we integrated the software with workflows. Like I said, Bluebeam already had some of these workflows developed. They developed it from the ground up for the construction industry. We also implemented the cloud computing via Dropbox. That's what allowed us to synchronize the field tablet PCs, iPhones, iPads, along with with the office computers and back into the field. The system is very flexible, it's seamless integration, and again, we was able to use the iPads and iPhones along with tablet PCs and desktops that allow the punch list files to be synced between users and their devices via the Dropbox solution. The Bluebeam PDF review actually came out with an update during this as we was implementing this process about 2 months in, and they added what was called Bluebeam, or is called Bluebeam Studio, which basically gave us a server to upload our PDF set to, and then we could actually invite other users to collaborate on the same punch list with the architect and owner in real time. And here's a screenshot of Bluebeam Studio Punch. And as you see to the left, you see the punch symbols, and then you see the punch items on the drawing itself. And then you can also see at the bottom of the screen the comments that are generated from the dropping the different symbols on. And then to the right of the screen, you'll notice that there's punch is shown to be in session. You can invite additional attendees to this session. You can also, and each user can actually be working independently in different areas of a floor, for example, if you're trying to punch out one floor. And within that punch process, you're able to review what each other's working on. So you could, like I said, you can work independently of each other. Then you can also select to follow one of the other users. And that way, what we found out is by doing that, you may notice something different. So what we noticed is we had different people punching out the same floor, for example. And somebody would notice, like seams on wallpaper, for example, not lining up correctly. So they would mark that as one of their items. And then another user noticed that the plumbing, the drywall sub had covered up the plumbing connections. So as they looked at what each other was responding, they went back and looked while they were still in their room, in the particular rooms, they were able to find the similar items that they had not noticed themselves. So effectively, it was having real-time lessons learned happening as we was doing the punch process. So this was a great time saver. And then when we actually did our final punch with the architect and owner, our punch item, we basically were finished with the punch items. So we very rarely had to go back and do any other corrections for the final punches. So it actually helped out with the architect and, well, also with the owner. The owner was very impressed with the process and you know, encouraged our use of it. So here's some other, you know, I'm talking about for buildings and stuff, but you know, this tool can be used for other items too. So one of the items is on-site RFIs, and be able to answer, sign off, get RFI signed off while you're in the field. Another, from an industrial side, you can use it for process shutdowns, turnarounds, and then for checklist. And then another tool, feature of this particular product is the estimation and takeoff. So while we were out in the field, we was able to get measurements, you know, would calibrate the drawings and be able to pull off the measurements while we were in the field for field takeoffs for different items that were added. So real quick, I'm going to talk about the another process that we're starting to implement called construction photo management process. We're using Bluebeam for this as well, in conjunction with the fact that Bluebeam actually has a built-in web browser that's basically using Internet Explorer as the engine, but it's actually allows you to create web tab or different tabs and view web tabs and access websites. And in this case, this is jobsitevisitor.com solution. And we're able to upload a floor plan, for example, and put viewpoints. So when you click on a viewpoint, that viewpoint can actually give you the that particular view perspective and show you a timeline of all the pictures taken from that particular view location. So this is a great tool that we're looking at implementing on a couple of our projects right now. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take you into Bluebeam real quick. So as you can see on here, here's a floor plan of one of the Embassy Suites hotel that we punched. Now this one's actually an older file that I'm using for this demo purposes. And as I go into it, you can actually see the punch items in each floor. So as I selected one of the symbols, you can see at the bottom it actually highlights that information for me and lets me know where that's at. If I was to go over to my punch items, you notice there's a general punch key plan, and then you can set up additional ones for like ceiling, for example, for electrical, cleaning, carpentry, lighting, plumbing. And then so if I hover over any of these items, I don't need to know what the symbol actually means. Just by looking at the symbol, I can just hover over the particular item, and it lets me know, hey, this is electrical exposed wires. And over time, you know, after using it, you kind of get to know what the symbols mean. So it's kind of nice. Also, when I select over here on the far right-hand side, it actually will show me the properties for that particular item, and then I can actually put in the responsibility in here, which in this case was EIS, it's electrical subcontractor. And as you set that up, and then if I go over here and select that again, it remembers that, and then I can just go in and drop in that item in one of these rooms, and then as I drop it in, it highlights it there. And as you can see, it also shows it in here, and it fills out responsibility for me. So as you're going through, it automatically signs up. So basically out in the field, all I'm having to do is click on a symbol and drop it in the location where the item needs to be corrected, and then I go on to the next step. So the process is really quick, easy. There's a little bit of setup time before you go out to the field, and then the way we also did it, we broke up like the full level we shown on the one sheet, and then we worked on common areas, and then we were able to, in common areas were all tracked on the particular sheets, but different rooms like meeting rooms or guest rooms, for example, those were handled in separate, we took snapshots, and then so the tool actually has a neat way to do snapshots. If I just want to take for the stair area, for example, I can just highlight this one area, let go, and it actually generates a snapshot, which then I can then go into another PDF and paste that in. So I'm going to go to another sheet real quick. And so this is one of the rooms. So this is the room 209. As you can see, we have a template that we use to show the punch list items, and then where we pasted the particular floor plan in here. And then after you do that, it's as simple as just dragging and dropping the information so onto the file. So I'll take one more example here. Drop it, shows it on here. I can edit it on there if I want to, and then the information shows up on the drawing. And then this list I can actually export out, format if I want to, and then print it to PDF and add it along with this particular drawing as well. And then I can also create a PDF summary of this sheet when I'm done. And I could have appended this summary actually to this current PDF, and it would actually show it on there. Well, that's generated the PDF summary. I'm just going to go back over here and kind of give an update to what we're currently working on with Fiatech in the real-time field reporting. So, when we was doing the 1, 2, 3 punch list, I realized that's just one process that was enhanced using this process. And so what else is out there? And so I basically wanted to conduct a pilot project with Fiatech to find out more, and not just from what our company could use it for, but the industry in general. So that's where the real-time field reporting with smart devices project was pretty much born from, and we actually started that this year. So what have we done so far? Well, we conducted user acceptance survey with the Fiatech members in May and June of 2011. We started analyzing and compiling a report from the data collected, and also we used that information to compile a list of smart devices to be used in the study. We also conducted field pilot studies in July 2011 in the UK and here in San Antonio, Texas, using several different of the smart devices that we've accumulated during our initial survey. We also conducted surveys after the pilot study on each user of the device on what their experience was based on questions we compiled during the original survey that we conducted. In addition to that, we are taking that information and compiling it to document case studies derived from the field pilot studies, and that is currently ongoing. And we're looking at presenting this information in the final report at the Fiatech members meeting. That'll be held in Boulder, Colorado, October the 3rd through 5th. So what kind of smart devices do we look at? Well, here's a comparisons chart. Now, iPhones were used in the study. We also, we decided to focus in on the tablet market that was booming this year, and so we started looking at the different devices, and some of these we've actually implemented. And I just want to show you the complete list. I know you can't read this, but I'll give you information where you can find this list after we do the final report out. So here's some of the devices that we actually have used out of that complete list, and as you can see, we narrowed down to select devices, and we also was focusing on Android, Windows 7, and iOS device, iPad 2, and also several Windows 7 traditional tablet PCs, as well as the newer tablet platform. And so we compiled all this information so we can, conduct our study. So real quick, I'm going to switch back to the. So I just want to give you an idea. Here's the summary report that we just looked at. You can see this shows the level 2. It shows the punch item. It shows even a clip of that area. I could have made it larger. So it actually showed a larger area in that particular room, and then shown that on there. So, and I could have actually compiled it to the original list that we had, and if I had done that, it would actually hyperlink all these items back to that same sheet. But I just wanted to show this to you as an example how the workflow within inside the actual product. And so back to the presentation. So basically we're looking at what's coming next after we've done the study, and what other devices that we want to be able to look at in the future that we didn't get to look at. Even though I mentioned we did look at the iPad 2, the iOS 5.0 had recently come out, and or is coming out this month, or to be announced, I guess, this month. And also the Motorola and Google Android 3.0 Honeycomb just recently came out right before we started the study. And that would be another platform we would want to test, as well as the Microsoft Windows 7 Mobile and hopefully 8 Mobile as it comes out as well, and along with other devices such as the GoldenEye device, which I think will really enhance the real-time field reporting, and especially accessing the information as well as reporting it back. So I just want to share with you some of the original network setups that we had, and this was the schematic basically that we did from the original Office in the Box. Well, a lot of this information now, the external hard drive, the data, the clouds, basically services like Dropbox have done away with the need for the external drive, be able to print on the device directly to a PDF. As basically you really very seldom have to print out anything anymore, because most people print out information so they can sign it. Well, you can do that on a tablet PC or on an iPad or Android tablet just as easily. And then having a Skype phone, well, most of the this is a Skype Wi-Fi phone. Well, most of the current smartphones have a Skype application you can run on. So basically, you know, and then this router with a EVDO card, like I mentioned at the beginning, we actually just used a battery-operated router that had the connectivity, you know, built into the chipset. Now, for remote applications, you know, they're actually, you know, everybody's probably seen the big satellite fixed antenna services, but they also have these this particular smaller terminal that also can be ran off of a battery connection as well, or just a standalone satellite phone. So overall, you know, basically you have to look at your overall processes, your business processes you have. You know, implementing a technology isn't really going to provide a solution. You have to look at what your current process is and focus on that process and to implement the particular technology that you're looking at implementing. And then you have to get buy-in of everybody that's actually working on the implementation of the for the tools that you're trying to implement. And so I just want to point out, you know, we have when we do post the final report out, we'll have the real-time field reporting using smart devices. Below is a link that also will take, but you can actually just go to the Fiatech.org website and navigate through the projects, the active projects, and be able to look at that particular, or you know, what the update is for that particular project, Fiatech project is. So with that, I would like to open it for questions. Was there anyone out?
If there are any questions, go ahead and send them to me, and I will. I'm actually not seeing any coming across at this point.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So if you have submitted questions, and I apologize for a little bit of the confusion, but with Nicole being out, people may have sent questions to her inbox versus to mine. If that's the case, all those questions will be forwarded to Todd, and then they will be sent out to the group. If there are any immediate questions, if you want to send those to Mike Alianza on your panel, I'll get those to Todd. Todd, barring anything coming through in the next minute.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you so much. It's always interesting to hear what you have and you know, what you've worked on over there at Zachary and what you're making available to the public. It's always been fun to have access to the work that you're doing.
Okay, well, thank you.
Again, I'm not seeing any questions at this point, so everyone, thank you. Melissa has recorded this presentation, and it will be available on the web. I believe it takes a day to post that. And again, for all those who attended and registered as they attended, Melissa will send out the questions and answers as Todd receives those, and we will go from there. So thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.